Okay, guys, this is it. We are getting to the final day. Well, we are actually at the final day before the big voting stuff comes in from Disney and all of that. And whether if Nelson Peltz wins or not, I figured, since tomorrow is the voting and all that, I kind of want to talk about this. I want to talk about this. So, I'm going to talk about this and discussing this and what I think is, what I think needs to change and what's probably good, what might happen tomorrow and all that. We really don't know much about what's going to happen with the votes, because Disney's known for having their power and all that, but, I figured I want to kind of talk about this and all that, but, anywho, guys, if you guys are interested in me talking about this stuff, and, with studios and all that, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And for people who do not want to listen to this stuff, I do reviews and stuff as well. I also do some reactions, and I do a lot of things on my channel. I'm even Let's Plays and stuff. I'm even doing some live streams too. So for the last week, this is like the last week before Nintendo closes down their online services on the 3DS and Wii U. So I'm trying to get some videos out for that. I'm not going to be posting anything today, but I'm going to try to post some for you guys tomorrow and the rest of the week. But, I'm trying to do that stuff too. So you guys can do that and all that. And you guys can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter and all that. So you guys can keep up with, with all this stuff and all that. But, I think I'm about done here, so let's go ahead and talk about this. So there's been a lot of commotion going on lately, especially in the last couple weeks with Nelson Peltz and Bob Iger and Disney. Mainly Bob Iger, I think it's mostly Bob Iger, but probably some of Disney too. And all that, and here's the thing, though, with Bob Iger and all that is, Nelson Peltz has brought up that he's not planning on firing, Bob Iger and all that. But somehow Bob Iger and all that is he's freaking out. You can tell he's freaking out. He's trying to get, everyone on his side from studios he bought and all that, which I think is a bunch of baloney. I think it's a bunch of baloney. I don't think it's I think it's a bunch of baloney, and all that, and I feel like a lot of these like George Lucas especially, I don't feel like he would be on Iger's side. I know he was. That's how they got Star Wars in the first place, but because back in the day, him and Iger were buddies. Because he had some stuff going on with ABC, and that's where Iger was from. But Iger ended up stabbing George Lucas in the back, and he felt betrayed and all that. And he's even commented multiple times. Now, I think he also apologized for what he did with Iger and all that, but I don't know why he did, because, he had a fair reason for calling him out. There probably was something going on there, but, the thing is, there's been some commotion going on with that, and then Abigail Disney, which by the way, they have to use her because Walt's obviously dead. If Walt wasn't freaking dead, I doubt this company would be in this rough of shape. I don't know if it'd be perfect either, but I don't know much about Walt Disney. He's like a cousin removed or something like that. I'm related to him. Just like Abigail Disney and all that. Yeah, I brought that up before. I'm related to... but, again, I don't know much about the guy, because he's... besides that, but I do know there was some drama going on, but there's also a lot of drama going on behind the scenes with Disney, even, today. So, I don't know, but I do know, Abigail Disney was trashing, talking, I think, on on, everything, about Walt Disney and all her grandpa and all that, and but she was also apparently she disagreed with like what Disney was doing and all that, and apparently she's suddenly on their side. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of was thinking that was the case. Like, I was thinking knowing her, she was probably just not a fan of their politics and all that, but now I'm looking at it, I'm like, I feel like there's something else going on here and all that. And with the votes, and all that tomorrow, there's a lot going on here and all that. And, I have a feeling it's gonna get pretty ugly, and all. It's gonna get pretty bad. I mean, the thing is, Disney could win this. They could win it because they're known for buying they're known for buying their, like, votes and all that. They do that. And actually, I think that's like that in real life, too, because that's kind of why we're stuck with, all this pricing and crap and why everything's so expensive now. We had a thing we could vote for a couple years ago, back in 2022, to lower the cost, but somehow some of these states, got their votes in. And I want to clarify, some of these states aren't even that, like, we're not, like, huge, like, with Texas and California, yes, but some of these states weren't, like, just somehow automatically, I think it was, like, New York and all that, got their votes in, and, and, like, so quickly, and, like, while Missouri and all that, like, took a while, and I'm not saying Missouri's perfect with some of this stuff, but the fact is that, that everyone somehow voted, and I'm going to clarify, the votes came in very close, and all that, like, that seems really odd. There's no way people wanted all this pricing and all that to be a case, because a lot of people were even complaining about it, even online, how much, like, stuff's it costing, so that's kind of how it is with these corporations, too, not just Disney, but other studios, too, like Warner Brothers and all that. They try to, like, buy out votes and all that to make it look like they're doing very well, and people voted for it, but when they're not. The problem is, though, with Disney is getting in trouble for this stuff, because, in Florida, they were forced to step down and settle down with, settle down with, the guy, and I forgot his name, DeSantis. Yeah, there's a lot of big names going on, and, like, with Disney and all that, but DeSantis, they were forced to, step down and all that with that, and make an agreement. They said they straightened it all out, but I think DeSantis won. I think he won that court, which I didn't know if he was gonna win or not, because again, Disney's got all this power. I figured, though, they were eventually gonna start getting busted with this stuff, because they can only do it so long. And with today's technology, and the fact people have cameras and all that they can just hook up them to themselves, people can actually catch this stuff a lot easier. That's how, like, Nickelodeon and all that got busted for, all the crap they've been doing. And all that. That's what's happening with, like, Disney Channel and all that, too. They're getting busted for all this stuff because now they got better cameras, so people are busting them for it. So they're forced to admit what they've done and all that. But that's kind of what's going on with with nuts and pelts and all that with Disney, Now that we've got better technology and all that, Disney can't hide this crap as much anymore. And when it comes to, nuts and pelts, the guy has a lot of money, and he shares a lot of stuff, with Disney and all that. He has a lot of shares. I think he actually might have some of the most shares of Disney. I don't know if he has the most shares of Disney, but I know he has a ton of it. He bought a ton because he's trying to get himself on board. Now, if he's going to fix the company, I'm not sure, but the company needs to get fixed. They need to get fixed, because if they don't get fixed and they keep going down this path, they're going to eventually go under. And I've been told multiple times, I keep saying this, but I have to keep saying it because people keep saying this, that Disney, is too big to fail. they're too big to fail. They got a lot of properties and all that. But that's the thing, though. They're too big. And they have been losing lots of money. They've been losing lots of money. And with Disney Plus and all that, they're saying that they have all these subscribers and all that. But for some reason, they seem to be so desperate. They seem to be so desperate to they seem to be so desperate to want to get rid of get rid of physical media and all that, and trying to push people to go on Disney Plus. Because Australia and all that, up there and all that, they've shut. I don't know if they shut down their channels or not, but I know they've shut down channels in other continents, and they've shut down all the movie access and all that, so people can't buy movies on there anymore. They can't buy movies on at stores anymore. They can probably buy some used stuff, because I hear Australia still has a lot of movie stores and all that down there. I kind of wish we had some up here, but we don't. But the thing is, though, is they seem to be so desperate to do this. They seem to be really desperate. So I feel like they're not getting the amount of subscribers they were hoping for, because otherwise they probably wouldn't even care, because they'd still be making money off of this other stuff. And I think other studios are realizing that streaming's not doing very good, because Paramount, I think Paramount is stepping down from streaming. I think is what's happening. I made a video talking about how Paramount, Plus and all that is removing all their content, and people are upset about that. People are pointing out how it's just they're focusing on SpongeBob and all, but SpongeBob, they're moving content off of there too. Apparently, they have I was not sure if that was an April Fool's thing or not, but people are revealing it's not, or maybe it is. I don't know. Because it was April Fool's Day, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were putting their content on HBO Max. They're already putting it on Netflix. I think they're realizing they're spending too much money on this content, so they're splitting it up to other platforms. That's the problem with Disney Plus. Disney Plus is they're focusing too much on streaming. They're spending too much money on it, and that goes for other platforms too and all that. The reason why Peacock is probably has a lot of Universal's content on there too is because they're owned by Comcast. Comcast is a cable company as well, so they probably make a lot of money off of that stuff. But they also have, they're also moving a lot of their stuff to Netflix too. So I think streaming's kind of just coming to an end. But I don't think it's coming to an end, the way they were hoping for. And I don't know if Nelson Peltz is really... I don't know what he's going to do if he goes in there. I'm not sure what he's going to be doing. I don't know if he's going to, get rid of Disney Plus or not. I don't know what he's going to do. But I think Disney probably needs to drop Disney Plus and just focus on, throwing their content out there like they were, back before they made the platform. Because... they're putting too much money in it, or either they should shut Disney Plus down, and actually I would say they should shut it down and focus on Hulu, but they've also blew all their money on Fox and all that, which is part of Hulu. They got Hulu in the deal, and they lost a lot of money off of that, way more, I don't even know what they even got when they bought Fox, they got a lot of stuff, but they canceled a bunch of movies that were in development when they bought Fox. They shut Blue Sky down, which, by the way, was probably one of the stupidest things they did with Fox, because that could have made them a lot of money. They shut that down, and then they were known for Ice Age, but they also made a lot of other great movies. So they made the Peanuts movie. They actually had Nimona, which was actually a very popular movie that people are talking about. That's on Netflix. Their competitor. So they keep throwing all this. They keep giving all these studios money, And that's the thing, that they're giving their competitors all this money, like Netflix and all that, because they keep making stupid decisions. So I mean, like the guy who owned Fox, I forgot what his name was, but I know he went out and bought Tubi. He owns Tubi now, and he spent way less than what Disney spent for Fox. So he used all that money and basically bought out Tubi and all that, and he still has a lot of Disney's money. Then Comcast, got a lot of money from when Disney bought out Hulu. Which, by the way, I'm gonna say Hulu I'm gonna say right now it's a waste of money. They should have just sold off Hulu, because now they're gonna lose money on it too, because people are gonna take off their stuff off of there, and they're gonna put it on their platforms. Because I mean, right now they have Amazing World of Gumball and all that. They have access to that because it's part of the Hulu bundle. But Paramount and all of that have taken all their stuff off of there, and I think Comcast I think is going to do the same thing. They're going to take all their stuff off of there. So they're all moving their stuff off of Hulu, and all because their contracts are expiring, and yeah, Disney basically just blew all their money on Hulu, which, by the way, was part of Fox. That's how they got control of Hulu, was Fox. But they still had shares. They still had to share it with Comcast and all that. And I think also Warner Brothers also owned part of Hulu too. They still owned part of Hulu as well. They don't own it anymore. I think they sold it to Disney, so Disney got that. But Comcast, still, had part of it. So yeah, Disney's been putting a lot of money in all this stuff. And the thing is, though, I don't think they're gonna be around too much longer if they keep making these decisions. Because not only they overspent on all this stuff, mostly Fox, but streaming as well. They've also been putting out a lot of content that's not been performing very well. Heck, all their movies, well, almost all their movies, some of them I hear actually did okay. And Elemental actually made its money back last year. It made its money back, but it took forever for it to make it back too. But the thing is, though, it took even the good movies, it took them forever to make their money back, and they didn't even make a whole lot of money as it is. And most of them last year just bombed. Most of them bombed. Lots of people hated them. And that's the thing, though. They've been on this trend since 2019. They're trying to also put the blame on Chapek, saying Chapek, was responsible for a lot of these movies that bombed and all that. But the thing is, though, I want to clarify, like I said, they've been bombing for even before the pandemic. They've been bombing. They started bombing, back in 2019. They weren't bombing, but they were starting to get dislikes and all that. And the thing is, people were watching them because they were probably hoping they were good, but then they started realizing, what Disney was becoming. They probably realized, that their movies were not as good as they once were, and they kept giving them a chance, but fans started walking away and all that, and people were already walking away from what they did to Star Wars and all that, and they kind of came back when they fixed it, but then they turned around and they messed it up again. So yeah, they've been on this trend for a while, and some of their movies they've announced before Chapek became in charge. They actually announced Lightyear before Iger even left. They announced that before he even left. They had to push it back because of the pandemic. I know, because I watched a trailer of it and all that, and I talked about it, and I saw it. They were pushing it back because they had to push the Mario movie back too, and all. The Mario movie had to get pushed back because the pandemic and all that. They had to push it back. I don't know if it was supposed to come out in 2020 like the Buzz Lightyear movie was, but actually, I think that one might have come out in 2021. I don't know, but I do know the other one was supposed to come out before that. And we had Elemental. Elemental was announced back in 2020. I think it was announced either in 2019 or 2020. Back when Chapek first came in charge and all that. And that movie was actually decent. I didn't think the movie was great, but I didn't think it was awful. I just I think it was kind of for me. But I know a lot of people didn't like it and all that and all that. But the thing is, though, they've been kind of having they've been bombing and all with that stuff at their theme parks that are not doing very well either. They're like, they have these attractions and all of that, but they don't have a lot of stuff going on with that. And Universal is basically using all of Disney's money. They're using all of Disney's money they paid for, they paid up, for the rest of Hulu to use it towards the theme parks. They're saying they're using it for the theme parks. But they're using it for the theme parks and all that, and, Disney's got a few things coming to their parks, but nothing like big or anything and all that. And they've talked about how they're retheming like Splash Mountain and all that, but they were gonna do that they kept announcing they were gonna do that forever ago. They're only doing stuff now because Nelson Peltz is up there, behind. And on top of that, like, I don't know, basically, on top of basically they're laying off all these people and all that work with them and all that because they can't afford this stuff and all that, and they're bleeding money. They're bleeding money bad, and I want to clarify they're screwing their people over and all that. And I know a lot of people get call out Nickelodeon and all that, and yeah, they should call out Nickelodeon for their bull crap and all that. And other studios, but Disney's also not innocent here. Disney's been screwing people over. Heck, there's been videos of cast members at the park who've been getting screwed over and treated like crap by people working there. I mean, people that go there and all that, and all that, and they get in trouble and let the other people get away with it. There's been video proof of that. People have been having video proof of that, Like, there was this one woman who was, this one guy was, like, bitching at this woman and all that, and she was doing her job and all that, and he set her off, and she probably shouldn't have cussed at him, but he was basically, he was starting shit with her and all that, and she got freaking fired, but apparently he didn't get in trouble or anything, so clearly there's a lot of crap going on with that stuff. And then you got like I said, that they're laying off people. They're saying they can't freaking afford anything, but then they're putting money on Taylor Swift and like Fortnite and all that, And I want to clarify that number one, they're doing it because they make a lot of money. But number two, they've done this with other properties. That's what they do. They freaking buy up other properties like Pixar, Marvel, and Star Wars and all that, and they run it into the ground. And including Fox, they did that with Fox too. And that's the thing, though. That's what they're gonna probably do with Fortnite. So they're gonna run it into the ground and all that. And basically, they keep putting all their money into this stuff and all that. And I want to clarify that they could be using this money to freaking improve the company and keep their workers in there, but instead they treat them like shit and, toss them overboard and all that. So, yeah, there's definitely crap going on there and all that. And, yeah, like I said, Disney's gonna have to change. Disney is freaking doing awful right now. None of their crap is doing good. Their parks are making some money, but it's also doing very bad and all that. If they keep this up, I'm telling you, Disney is gonna go bankrupt. They're gonna go bankrupt. Now, I don't know if Nelson Peltz is gonna win or not. I kind of hope he does, because I'm not saying if he's gonna. He's saying he's gonna do some of this stuff. They say he's gonna do, because people do this all the time. They say they're gonna do stuff to get board seats or to get elected for president or something, but don't always do it. The thing is, though, if he does come in, he has to change the company. He's gonna have to do something, because like I said, the company itself with Iger under there is going under. And if Iger stays in, Iger's got to change stuff too, because either that or Nelson Peltz is going to be up their ass for the next year. And he's going to keep fighting. And Nelson Peltz has a freaking crap ton of money. He's got a crap ton of money. He does. He's got a crap ton of money. He's probably sitting on a bunch of money because he used to be part of Disney. I don't remember if they fired him or not, but I know he was I think he was part of Marvel and all that. So he knows the company. He knows the company and all that. So he knows it very well. And I think he was there when Eisner was in charge. Now I hear Eisner also had some issues too. Eisner had some issues, but I mean with Eisner they were still making a lot of good content. They were actually, believe it or not, they had like Circle 7 animation too. They were making Circle 7 animation too. They were making Circle 7 animation and all that. Unfortunately, that got shut down, which is kind of a shame. I hear they were actually going to make some movies, but they didn't even get to make any movies, you know? I want to know, I'm actually curious about this, because I don't think I've ever heard of this, but I want to know if a company can come back from bankruptcy. Because I'm not going to lie, I would totally like to see, like, Circle 7 animation produce some movies. That would be nice. But like I said, they never got to produce any movies because they were going to produce some Pixar ones. But they closed down Circle 7 animation and all that. I didn't even know much about it because it wasn't around that long. I think it was around for a couple years. And then it shut down. And I'm going to clarify, it shut down when Iger came in. So Iger came in and shut it down. He shut it down, but bought out Pixar and all that. So he shut it down. But I think it was going under even when Eisner was in charge. But even with Iger, you know, again, Iger buys up all this crap and doesn't know what he's doing with it. He could have probably done something to probably save that too, but I don't know, he's been shutting crap down. Heck, they freaking shut down, you know, the animation movies and all that, you know, because of him, you know, they shut down, like, their 2D animation stuff and all that. And I know they weren't performing very well, but the thing is, Disney was known for their hand-drawn animation and all that, and I think their hand-drawn animation was really good. It was really beautiful and all that, and don't get me wrong, their CGI, some of it's pretty good too. Like, if you guys watch, like, Moana and all that, the water details looks very pretty and all that, but still, I wouldn't mind seeing some 2D animation films put in here, but the problem is a lot of them were probably turned, well, a lot of them were turned into CGI because they shut down the 2D animation. And I've been hearing they've been wanting to bring back some of that stuff. That was, by the way, I think under Chapek. I think that was under Chapek they were talking about doing that. But when Iger came back and all that, they had, like, under Chapek, Encanto had some 2D animation test images. So they were probably going to make it 2D animation, but they scrapped it. But then they were actually going to make Wish. Wish was going to be 2D animated. It should have been 2D animated. I think it should have been 2D animated. That would have been cool. If they made it 2D animated, they could have made it 2D animated. Maybe they made the background CGI. You know, that would have been cool. That would have been cool if they did that. Like, they could have done it, like, you know, like the Legends of the Seven Seas, you know, and all that, you know, from, you know, DreamWorks. They could have done that. That would have been cool. Because, I mean, people want to see 2D animation. And some people argue and say, well, we have 2D animation shows. And yeah, we do. But, you know, I mean, some people who grew up with 2D animation, like myself, you know, well, technically I grew up, you know, in the early 2000s, so I grew up with both. But I would love to see, you know, 2D animation, again, mixed with some CGI and all that. That's what was so great about the 2000s, you know? We had a little bit of everything. We had 2D animation, CGI, live action. We had all of it. Now they've kind of, Hollywood in general kind of, you know, went away from 2D animation. Now, I've actually noticed, I'm noticing, it looks like they're trying to bring back 2D animation. Some of these studios are bringing it back. Warner Brothers and all, when they were going to do this, was going to bring back, they were going to have a full-fledged 2D animated Looney Tunes movie, but freaking David Lasley, shut that down and, he canceled it, and I hear they're trying to bring it back under another studio, but, I'm hoping that they can bring it back, because I would love to see it. I'd go freaking watch it. I'd go watch it, even if it's bad, I don't care. I'd freaking go watch it, just to have a 2D animated movie in there, But, if I already knew it was bad, I wouldn't probably watch it. But, if it's bad, I wouldn't care, because I would kind of care, but you get what I'm saying. I'd like to see a freaking 2D animated movie in the theaters again, original movie, you can tell technically Looney Tunes is not, tech original. They've been around forever, but still, it would be nice to see some more 2D animated movies. But, like I said, Wish was going to be 2D animated, and then they cut that, and the Star, the Wishing Star, it was going to be 2D animated. I think they cut that too. So they were going to, they kept changing it in production and all that, and I think a lot of that happened after Iger kind of came in. Well, the animation was already, they changed the animation, because when Chapek was in charge, they announced it. They announced they were gonna change up the they already announced the movie and they already showed images of it, so they were already gonna change it and all that. But they already changed it. But I did hear people talking about it. I think even people who made the movie came out and said that they were gonna originally do that. But I don't know. But I do know the Queen was gonna be evil and all that because I heard about that. But I don't know. But I feel like I've kind of been going on for a long time for this video, but like I've been saying, I feel like they gotta do something, because if Disney doesn't do anything, like, they're gonna go under, and I feel like Iger doesn't want to do anything. Iger wants to keep power. That's what's going on here. I think Nelson Peltz may end up kicking him out. I think what's gonna happen, he's gonna kick him out. He says he's not gonna do anything, but I think what he's saying is, he didn't say he's gonna do anything, but I think he's probably gonna kick him out. Because Iger needs to be freaking kicked out. He needs to be kicked out of the studios. They need to hire someone freaking new, and they're new, like, not an accessor. They need to hire someone new that'll run the company, because Iger had Chapek come in. Chapek didn't know what he was doing with the company. A lot of people trashed on Chapek, but I don't know. I feel like I kind of did too. I trashed on Chapek, but I'm kind of looking back at it, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I feel like he I don't know. He felt like he wasn't there very long for number one, but I feel like number two, I feel like he was kind of stressed out. Like, you could tell the guy was stressed out. He didn't want to be there and deal with this crap and all that. Like, I don't know. I feel like he's probably just, I don't know where he went, but I think he probably just retired. I don't know. I don't even know how old Chapek was. I don't know if he was old. I don't know, but I mean, if he has all that money, he could probably retire at a young age. But he's definitely middle age. I do know that, but I don't know how old he was. But I do know that, like, he definitely didn't know what he was doing with the company. But you could tell he was the way he looked, he was stressed out, and and you could tell he was getting facial hair and all that. Like, he was kind of I think he was kind of stressed out, and I don't know, like, just the way, I mean, it's kind of funny to say that, but I know that because I know some people, and all that, who don't shave sometimes and all that because, they are stressed out and all that. Like, I think my dad's done that a few times, and all that. So, I mean, but you could tell, like, I feel like something was definitely up, with him and all that in the company. And Iger came back. They brought Iger back. He's not doing anything to run the company. He kept announcing crap, but he also, like, announced them, but turned his back on it. Like, he announced that he was talking about selling off some ABC assets and parts of the company and all that, which he should, because Disney's too big. They need to go back. They need to get money back because they're losing money. and go back to focusing on entertainment again instead of being a freaking massive corporation. But also, instead of throwing their employees over, and all that. Because, again, all these employees, they've all been fired, but they're all going to other studios. So a lot of Blue Sky Studios people, when they shut down Blue Sky and all that, they all went over to, to like Netflix and all that. And I think with Pixar and all that, they've done the same thing. Well, Pixar, John Lasseter brought a lot of people over. Now, I don't know much about what happened behind the scenes with John Lasseter. I know there's been a lot of commotion with him too, like him hugging people and all that, and doing, like, making people feel uncomfortable. But I do know a lot of people have, I think there's been not just men, but women too have, women were the ones who are complaining about, like, that have, I'm not saying there was stuff going on behind the scenes, but I do know that they also have all went with John Lasseter to another company and all that, but they went to another platform and all that, so basically, they're firing their employees, they're losing money, they're bringing them all these employees are going to other platforms. Some people are just stepping down because they're fed up with Disney's bullshit and just going to other studios. I think a lot of people might be leaving Disney World too and going to work at Universal, because Universal actually got rewarded for treating their freaking staff members better. They have. They actually have, they treat their staff members a lot better. Now, I'm not saying they're perfect either. Universal has had some problems too. Heck, I've been hearing some commotion going on with DreamWorks with them, which I was going to make a video about, but I decided not to because, I feel like I'm probably going to just discuss it anyway. And yeah, they're also laying off a lot of people, replacing them with, AI and all that, but I'm not saying that's great, but they still have a lot of employees who are being treated well in the parks and all that, and Illumination has a lot of people working there. Like, if you believe it or not, Illumination has Taylor Swift in her too. Yeah, Taylor Swift voices one of the characters on Lorax. She voices one of the characters there, and then she voiced some other characters too. I think she actually even was in Sing. I didn't even know that, but I think she was in Sing. So that's pretty cool, like they have all these great, celebrities and all that. Now, technically, I don't think Taylor Swift is actually a Hollywood actor. I think she's more of a singer, but she does have, a lot of that too. But I'm curious on how much they freaking spent on her, because, considering her concerts and all that are very expensive, That's why I can never go to her concerts. They're too expensive. It would be kind of interesting to go to one, but they're too expensive. I can't go to one. I probably wouldn't go to a concert anyway. I have sensitive ears, so, but I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I said Illumination's even saying that using AI is probably a bad idea. DreamWorks is doing it, but Illumination's not. So I think I don't know what's going to happen with Universal with DreamWorks and all that either, but I do know they have a lot more of stuff to offer and all that, and with other studios taking their money and all that, and Netflix, has probably, I think Netflix has Netflix has Skydance now too. They have Skydance, and then they also, well, they don't own Skydance, but they have Skydance stuff on there and all that, and I think Disney's basically giving their competitors all the competition and all that, and like I said too, Iger's gonna have to change something, because even if Nelson Peltz does not win, Iger's gotta change something. If Iger doesn't change anything, Nelson Peltz is gonna be right up their butts again. So he's gonna be forced to change something. I don't think he's gonna do anything. I don't know. I think what's gonna probably happen, he's gonna probably freak out and probably ditch the company again. The problem is people know what kind of a person he is now, so So, the fact that people already did, but it's more open now. Because a lot of people were rooting for Iger to come back. And I think I stated, too, there was a whole YouTube video of Mickey Mouse, cussing out Chapek and all that. It's like an animated video and all that. And I'm like, it's kind of stupid because I'm like, again, I feel like, a lot of people, think, Chapek was responsible for a lot of this stuff, but a lot of this crap was under Iger, and Chapek wasn't even there long enough to do anything, and all that, and Iger's doing a lot of crap that they accused Chapek doing for anyway. So I'm like, what's the point? I mean, Chapek announced he was gonna lay off a ton of people. Iger laid off freaking even more people. And Chapek got in trouble with Florida. Iger freaking drove it into the ground even further. So I think Iger could have just made an agreement with DeSantis and all that, and called it truths. But instead, he had to freaking push it into the ground even further and all that, and it's just freaking a lot of crap going on and all that. And I don't know, again, tomorrow is, the announcements for the elections and all that. But I wouldn't be surprised if Dizzy wins. But I think what's gonna happen, though, is Dizzy might win. I mean, I could be wrong. They might lose because they lost, with DeSantis. But I think what's gonna happen, they might win. But I think what's gonna happen is that Nelson Peltz is probably gonna, try to bust them and all that, and they're gonna get themselves in another situation and all that, and they're gonna get in more trouble and all that. I think that's what's gonna happen, but we'll see what happens. But like I said, Disney's gonna have to change. If they don't change, they're gonna go under. But anywho, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. I need to let the dog in anyway. He's outside pottying. He needs to come in. But I'll talk to you guys later. Anywho, bye-bye.